Watch this review here with a little year-end wrap-up. I'm going to call 2009 in review. For those of you not aware, 2009 was my first year collecting, and since around March, I picked up just a lot of stuff. So I thought I'd take a moment now to acknowledge some of my better or worse purchases in some cases, as well as, just take a look at other stuff across the year. Before I get started, though, let me just show you some of the wackier stuff I picked up. I picked up a pretty cool looking Art Asylum Doc Ock, as well as a Craven from the same series. This cool looking Max Factory Figma Saber from one of my favorite anime, Fate Stay Night. Finally got my hands on a Retro Roto Elect Man. Bought a whole bunch of PlayArts Final Fantasy figures, such as Kingdom Hearts Cloud here. Some statuettes from the Eagle Moss figurine and magazine collection. Got my long-awaited John Talbane figure. A little so-so though. And I couldn't resist picking up a Proto Man Juvie. In our first category, we have figure I was most satisfied with. Now, although I absolutely adore the Monkey Man right here, because he has crazy articulation, and also this completely wicked DC Superheroes Man-Bat. And I really like this Marvel Selects Doctor Doom, as well as these Marvel Legends Cyclopses. I'm gonna have to say that the big winner this year is the Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure Sentinel. Incredible figure. I love the amount of detail, and frankly, this is what got me into collecting in the first place, so it's kind of a shoo-in, especially because the quality is just completely there despite being a larger figure. This is my lesser of the two figures I own for him, because the joint in the hips is a little bit off. But on to the next one. Oh, but first, the runner-up, I'd have to say, is Monkey Man. And in the reverse, we have the most disappointing purchase, and this one goes to the ladies. First up, we have Giganta, who for a $70 figure just completely isn't worth it. This is the Connect and Connect. Really bad articulation, and just so many different production errors, it's not even funny. Now for our big winner, or loser, I originally thought it was going to be a shutout, but when I was looking through my collection, there's one other big figure that disappointed me, and that would be Domino from the Hasbro Marvel Legends 2-packs, who has incredibly crappy joints, both the arms and legs, which I don't know if they've been in package or after they're out of package, or I have no clue, but it just looks weird. However, I'm definitely going to have to say that our loser here is the Scarlet Witch, who I can barely believe is a Marvel Legend just because of all the crazy production errors and decisions made. For one thing, we have all this red bleed into the hair from the headpiece here, as well as more bleed over here. We have bizarre looking freckles all along the face. And then we have random shadowing just tossed in there. Just little black patches here and here. I don't even know why they'd be shadowing there. A little over here. And just the entire sculpt looks pretty crappy. An arm ended up falling off, or it broke over here. And it was my first figure that I'd bought that I was just absolutely hated. I was just disappointed with, but because this is the only Scarlet Witch we've had so far, I've kind of had to hold on to it. Next up is Best Deal, or the Hell Yeah Award. I managed to pick up Wolverine from the Series 6, as well as first appearance Sabretooth, Sasquatch, and Professor X for $22, including shipping and handling. Got that giant HeroClix Sphinx Fang Foom that I showed off in my other video. I've been too lazy to bring it out here. For $20, it was a buy it now with free shipping, which was an awesome deal. I got the entire pit wave of the legendary comic book heroes for $50, including shipping and handling, which again was a really incredible deal. Monkey Man I picked up for about $17, including shipping and handling, which again was pretty awesome. And I got the PlayArts Kingdom Hearts Cloud and Sephiroth for $28, including shipping and handling. And the winner is Wolverine, if you can still see him in there, but the 4-figure bundle that I got, including Wolverine, was just an incredible deal, because 2 of them alone can go for about that same price. Now the runner-up is probably the Monkey Man, because I saw a lot of those auction closing for a lot more, but the pit deal with this is definitely a great deal as well. The only figure from that wave I actually did miss was the one of the Savage Dragons. I can't remember if it's variant or non-variant. The worst, or actually most disappointing deals were all the store exclusives, because I had to pay a substantial markup for all of them. And in some cases, well actually in Beast Boy's case, I ended up paying like $25 for including shipping and handling. Then just like the other week I actually saw that one in stores, so it's like a complete kick in the nuts there. The other big thing was I was buying Build-A-Figure pieces at one point to try to save a little money on the Build-A-Figure, so I end up getting hosed a bit there. I just wouldn't recommend buying Build-A-Figure pieces loose unless you have almost everything else. Plus, even the case of that one Calabac arm I bought, I eventually did end up getting a Hawkman pretty cheap, so what can I say? Plus, there are always the figures you kind of buy at the wrong time, such as both Cyclopses here. I'll have a little story and annotations if you want to read it, but it's typical of my experience. As for the top figures that I haven't removed from their packs yet, and you can look forward to seeing the reviews sometime this year, we have Vengeance from the Marvel Legends Legendary Rider series, Starfire from the Starfire Adam Strange DC Universe Classics 2-pack, Deadshot from the Chemo Wave, and at some point I've also got to open up that Iron Man from Marvel Legends Wave 1. On the review side, there are two figures I feel really deserve a much better review. First is the Omega Red, who was one of my earlier reviews. In addition to, I did a Russian accent, or really bootleg Russian accent. I tried to go for something a little more gimmicky, so it kind of flopped. The other is Mongol from the DC Superheroes line, which actually is a pretty decent figure after I've really gotten used to him, but he just doesn't have much articulation, which originally threw me. However, the detail makes up for it. I might review both of them again at some point in the future, who knows. By the way, the award for the most overlooked figure definitely has to go to first appearance Spider-Man, who, despite appearing in half my videos for the purposes of scale, has yet to have a review of his own, and hopefully I'll correct that in this coming year. Out of all the non-Marvel and non-DC comics I've read this year, I think the ones that have impressed me the most are the works of Yoshihiro Tatsumi, represented here by Abandon the Old in Tokyo, and Scott McCloud's Zot. I don't think this is the best representation of Tatsumi's work. Actually, I think the Pushman and Other Stories is a much better anthology, but I ended up buying this one. He also has a autobiographical one called A Drifting Life, which was pretty cool. Now, Zot I really liked. As for Zot, I was generally impressed with the art, the dialogue, and just the general character drama. It just seemed to flow so quickly though. I'm not even going to try picking favorites with the Marvel and DC stuff. I was fairly impressed with the All-Star Superman, and I've been rereading some of the older X-Men stories, which I picked up in some of those Essential collections. Although I will mention that the Essential Volume 2 of Thor really impressed me a bit, which I didn't think it really would, because I'd never been a Thor fan before that, and that turned me a little. It turned me a little. For top movie, there's only one real choice, and that's Watchmen. The film's so nice, I bought it twice. Well, I bought the game just for the Blu-ray Director's Edition. But you get the gist of it. Worst or most disappointing movie, X-Men Origins Wolverine. There are just so many things in this movie that I didn't like that it really was a huge letdown, but I guess you can't really expect too much with Marvel movies sometimes. I think this is all I want to actually cover in this video. I will be doing some top 10s later in the month, so be on the lookout for those. In addition to that, I'll probably also do a second State of Play discussing plans for maybe an additional channel where I can shoot out and do more movie game reviews and some figure reviews, which I don't think people would really be interested in, like some of the Figmas and so forth. But, until then. However, I do just want to let you guys know that I appreciate you listening to my ramblings, because I know I can drone on at times and get horribly off topic, and I'm happy that everybody stayed with me up until now. And I'm really hoping to expand going into 2010. Maybe the top 10 lists and video responses and getting involved in contests or whatever will help give me a bit more visibility. But at this point I should definitely push for at least the 500 mark by the end of the year. Until next time folks, for real.